This is Deep Hollow Ranch. I'm Rusty Lever, and my wife Diane and I run the ranch. I was 12 years old when I first started working here, about the same age as my kids are now. Diane grew up here. Her family, the Dickinsons, have been ranchers at Deep Hollow for going on 6 generations. We're out here on the tip end of Long Island, on the edge of the ocean, just beyond the village of Montauk. People come from all over the world to enjoy the spectacular beauty of this place. We've got a large string of horses and 3,000 acres of the original ranch land, now preserved as New York State and Suffolk County parkland. But what really makes Deep Hollow Ranch unique is that it's the oldest ranch in America. It was here 100 years before the West was opened up. In fact, livestock have been pastured on this land for nearly 300 years. Diane's dad, Shank Dickinson, saw the last big herd of cattle driven off Montauk in the 1930s.
And then pastured here from May 1st until about November 1st. And it was so important in those days that the Thanksgiving was never declared locally until all the livestock...
And today, he remains a vital part of the operation and our resident historian.
It was so important to get the livestock back to the owners.
But it's not just ranching history. In many ways, what went on here paralleled what happened in the rest of the country.
100 years before the West was even settled. Doesn't mean we were any better cowboys, we just had more experience, that's all.
There are so many stories to tell and so many historic characters. We've decided to bring these people and events back to life.
There's been a lot of folks here on this land throughout the years, and they say that on beautiful summer evenings, close to sundown, if conditions are just right, occasionally the spirits of some of those who've been here before us might come back for a visit. But I am the lonesome, the fearsome, the really, really bad Captain Kidd. And many a man and woman has gone down to Davy Jones' locker by my cruel hand. Arr!
I'm portraying Quashawam, also known as Heatherflower, who's the eldest daughter of Wyandanch, the great sachem of the Montauk Indians. She first met Lion Gardner when she was a girl, and her father, of course, had an alliance with Wyandanch in order to protect his people. She became queen of the Montauks.
As a chief of my tribe, I think it's important for the young community to understand that, number one, the Montaukers are not extinct. We never left. We're here. And that we are still concerned about the indigenous area, which is our home, which is right here, Indian Field. We represent centuries and thousands of years of habitation here on Long Island. And here we are dealing with a generation now that's going into the 21st century with little or no knowledge of from whence this area came. And this is our ambition, is to make people understand that this area has a culture that should not be forgotten.
May I ask you, how was it down in Cuba?
Well, it was a bully good fight.
Theodore Roosevelt brought his famous Rough Riders and 30,000 sick and wounded soldiers to Montauk to recover from yellow fever after the rigors of the Spanish-American War. They called it Camp Wykoff, after the first soldier to die in Cuba. What's unique about Deep Hollow is the special events that take place here every year. In 1998, 100 years after Camp Wykoff, Suffolk County, along with Rusty and Diane, planned a series of grand centennial celebrations.
And Rough Rider Days was one part historical celebration and reenactment with a second part of the best Wild West show since Buffalo Bill. We had talked about doing a school program, and we'd worked with the county on doing that several years ago. It was something that came pretty close to happening, but what really sparked us this year was the need. We started receiving phone calls, with somewhat desperate phone calls, from schools across Long Island who, because of the tragic events of 9/11, were unable to go and travel over bridges and tunnels. We became, I guess, a pretty nice answer to that. And structured something that we consider to be not only educational but kind of fun. It allows us to illuminate kids anywhere from 4th grade, 3rd grade on up to 8th grade about their Long Island heritage. But it also allows us to share with them the things that we do on a daily basis, the things that make us a legitimate working ranch. We bring out our working border collies and show them gathering cattle or gathering sheep. We bring out cutting horses and allow them to see that. We do an actual little cattle drive with them.
Why don't you give Rusty and his horse a
At the end of the day, what they've done is they've had a taste of the Old West back in the East. They've learned about the Montauk Indians. They've learned about Teddy Roosevelt. They've learned about Captain Kidd, who was also here.
This is mine. And this lovely...
In a larger expanse of time, we're merely temporary caretakers. We tend the livestock, we mend the fences, and we try to maintain the ranch in harmony with the land. But it's really about appreciating what we have, sharing it with our visitors, and passing on to the next generation the spirit of Deep Hollow Ranch.
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O. You gotta put your hat on, boy. All right. You want to be in the band, you have to put your hat on. All right. My granddaddy was a railroad man. When I was young, he took me by the hand, dragged me to the station at the break of dawn. Said, boy, I got to show you something before it's gone. She was blue as silver, she was right on time. We rode to Texas Eagle on that Mopac